Hello, besties! Welcome to Martinez with Eddie, your ultimate destination for everything Bravo. Join me as we spill the tea, dissect the drama, and uncork the juiciest gossip from your favorite reality TV shows. This week I've been so busy with life, you guys. I'm going through so many changes in my life, and I'm so excited for what is coming next. I'm looking forward to I'll be sharing more when everything is settled, but there is an amount of great energy and positivity and love in the universe that I'm just so grateful. I can share what I have done this week with you guys, but you will find out about it really freaking soon. I think by tomorrow, you'll know that I had a great experience, you guys, and I'm grateful for that experience, and I cannot wait for you guys to listen to it, watch it. It's one of those stuff that I'm going to put on my resume. Well, I'm just kidding, but yeah, it's gonna be out tomorrow, and that was just part of an amount of great positive stuff in my life. Like I said before, it's going to drop tomorrow. It's not on my podcast, but it was an amazing experience. And when that drops, I will definitely share some clips on my Instagram and on my Twitter, podcast, whatever. We'll talk about it in detail when it finally drops and it's public. I'm just so excited for all this awesome stuff happening. And I only want the best for every single content creator. I'm excited when people are successful. And you might wonder why I'm starting the show with these comments. It's because like 45 minutes ago, as I'm getting ready for the podcast, I read a couple of stuff on Twitter and Instagram. The ladies of All About the TRH, Real Housewives, yeah. They posted something on their Instagram story. They have been on my podcast. We had chatted many times. I love those girls. They are extremely hardworking, focused on their content. They don't care much for other people and other content creators. They never go like after anybody, right? They just are doing what we all do, create content based on our opinions on the show. So it seems like some content creators out there, or so-called content creators, because honestly, anyone nowadays call themselves podcasters and content creators. Anyone with a little microphone think that they have the talent and the personality and the sources and all the stuff. And good for you. You can do whatever you want with your hobby, right? I do not care what you do with your hobby. But what I do not appreciate, you guys, is when content creators are salivating and celebrating when another content creator is going through a hard time. The ladies of All About the TRH uh, have been dealing with a troll who not only contacted their sponsors, not only contacted their real jobs bosses, like real life situation. They went ahead and screenshot photos of their personal accounts, their kids, all this stuff. Obviously, they needed to do something, so they were trying to figure out who this person was, and they found the person. And now this person is acting like they are the victim of this. Like, I'm like, you wanted the smoke, and now that you get the energy, you are acting like the victim. And obviously, some content creators, I don't want to say who that person is, that I noticed on Twitter, but babe, you should not be inserting yourself in the drama of other content creators when it's not about the show. This is not about any reality TV show. This is real life people's issues, you know? So celebrating somebody being harassed, celebrating somebody being blocked on Twitter because Twitter has these weird rules, or locked. Um, this is not your problem. This is not yours to be inserting yourself for likes and clickbait and bullshit. You know, as content creators, I think the best way to deal with this is to keep our mouth shut when it's not about a show and it's not about any content related to what we do. I support everybody as much as I can. People that I like their content, people who I don't agree with their takes. I mean, we try to make this community about, fun and shady posts and about shows we watch because we are bored, right? So taking it to this extreme to me sounds like a little cuckoo in the head. Like find a new hobby. Find a new hobby if you can just keep it light and fun you know Hi Kristen, hi Mia. um yes, now that I said all this stuff, I just wanted to make sure that I get that out of my chest because I do not understand how some of these content creators uh brains work because uh focus on your craft, focus on your content and make it better instead of inserting yourself on drama that is not even yours. You know, to be a real content creator and a Bravo content creator, there is plenty shows that you can focus. There is plenty content that you can create. You shouldn't be piggybacking on somebody else's problem, especially when it's not related to any of this, right? Tonight, we are going to be talking about the latest Atlanta, the latest New York, and the season finale of Crappie Lake. By the way, you guys, I usually do not cry with shows, but I'm going to be honest, I cry. I cry watching Crappie Lake. And I will share with you why I cry at the end when we're talking about Crappie Lake. Also, I wanna mention now, BravoCon tickets for the Watch What Happen Live and the Bravo Awards are going on sale this Friday for general purchases. There's going to be a VIP pre-sale on Thursday for those who have VIP tickets. I am excited to be attending all these shows because trust me, I planned my life around this weekend. I cannot wait to bring you guys all the content that I'm gonna get from this weekend. Um, so yeah, keep an eye on those. If you are going to BravoCon and you see me out and about, make sure to say hi. I'm not a cunt. I'm not a bitch. I'm not an angry person. I'm usually quite nice. If you see me being upset, it's because somebody pissed me off. But usually I'm a nice person. I'm not trying to I'm not bitchy or I'm gonna try to ignore people or thinking that I'm a star when I'm not. So if you see me out and about at BravoCon, just come and say hi. We will we'll talk about Bravo. We will talk about life. We might even be able to have a cocktail because if you are going to the Bravo Con, just so letting you know, they do sell alcohol. There are places like a bar you can get cocktails. I usually get champagne. I try to keep it just straight champagne on weekend, and that's it because I hate mixing alcohol because then I'll just go crazy. Then I'm too happy, Eddie. That's another thing. When I'm drunk, I'm like a happy person. So I'm not an angry drunk. So yeah, I'm ready for BravoCon. If you see me out and about, just make sure to say hello. You know, um, and it's getting closer. We are like what, like 2 months and a half away from BravoCon. It's going to be an amazing weekend, you guys. Um, Kristen, that's the one that I'm actually planning on going. They revealed today for the first time. They revealed the theme of the Bravo Watch What Happened Live um, tapings of the weekend. Last year, I did not know what I was going to. It was kind of like a surprise. But this year, they released a list of Bravo. It's called the BravoCon Lives, you know, and there are four of them, right? Beside the Bravos is on Friday night, which is what it was the Legends Ball last year, right? Then we're gonna have I have the list right here. I'm gonna share with you guys because I think this is important to know. Then Saturday, the first one is going to be the um the Saturday, November 4th at 7 p.m. is going to be BravoCon Live with Andy Cohen, the charming House Rules, which is the favorite cast members from Southern Charm, Vanderpump Rules, Summer House, and Southern Hospitality on the same stage. That's the one that I'm planning on going on Saturday night. At 10 p.m., they have BravoCon Dynamic Duos. It's usually like the best friends, like the two, in each show they pick like the best friends and they bring them to the stage and they talk about like their friendship and whatnot. Then on Sunday night, at 6 p.m. is Bravo Showgirls. I'm going to that one too. They're bringing together all the favorite Bravo Labs who are like the life of the party, the ones that are fun, maybe the one that have like music out too. So that's gonna be fun. And then at 9 p.m. is BravoCon Live with Andy Cohen, the reading room. That's the one where they bring all like the super freaking queens of like reads. Like those are the queens of throwing shade. They have the sharpest tongue and they're the shade assassins. So if you like super shade housewife or Bravo Labs, that's the one you want to go. That's at 9 p.m. A lot of people loved that one last year. They had this one last year, the reading room, and that was the one where Erica Jane said that the Dorit and PK were going to Splitville. Well, that's the one, the reading room. So if you want to go to one that's gonna be like surprising or something, I would recommend you to go to the reading room. But if you want to see me, you are might be able to find me on Saturday night at the Charming House Rules and on Sunday at the Showgirls. I'm definitely going though to the Bravos, which is the Legends Ball. Once again, if you see me out, make sure to say hello, and we have a cocktail. Trust me, I will be the one buying cocktails to people because I love to talk over cocktails with anyone. So if you see me and if you say, Eddie, I listen to your podcast, I'll buy you a drink. I'll buy you a drink. Okay, you guys. So let's get into the real mess. Let's get into the real mess and let's talk about shows that because that's what we are here for. Let's start with Atlanta. I want to start with Atlanta by saying that I watched the episode and to be honest, halfway through the episode, I was bored. I'm disappointed with this year's Atlanta. It's been quite the disjointed show. I also feel like production has a lot to do with that part because Kenya had many events that were cut out of the season. Cynthia was in many of those scenes with Kenya. We also found out that Kenya had an event. We knew that because we saw the photo what they were filming. She had an event for her hair salon, right? And everyone was there except one person. I believe that person was Marlo. Even Cynthia and Claudia were there at that event, and I feel like it was a disappointment that production decided to leave that in the cutting room because as fans we like to see when other housewives make cameos in the show and like friend of make a cameo and you bring people from the past, you make us excited. And also the whole hair salon was basically the most important storyline from Kenya, and I'm disappointed with production. I'm extremely disappointed. um, like I appreciate that they are sharing the whatever the shelter, the foster kid party, the Marlo had, but that to me was such a filler. There was nothing important in that segment. There was nothing interesting on that segment. Not even the conversation between housewives was interesting enough for me to be invested on what the party was even about. Um, I've had the feeling that production is trying to make Marlo to look like a softer version of herself after what happened to her last season. Because remember, last season we were all looking at Marlo like girl, like the way that you're treating your nephews, weird. And then this season her whole storyline was about how great she is with her nephews and how she's all about fostering and all this stuff. And now she has a foster party or whatever, right? I believe that at least they should have shown Kenya's party. That would have been the perfect way to kind of like connect her whole storyline. Um, I don't know if it was because they wanted to focus on the Drew Rolf divorce that happened after they filmed, so they wanted to cut all this stuff on this show. But to me it was not fair that they decided to go after Kenya's storyline, because I mean I like Shire, which by the way, if you go to Shire's Instagram account, I'm pretty sure by the time you listen to this it will be too late, but I'm gonna save it. I posted on my Instagram my dog on Martini with Eddie Instagram my stories, my dog, one of my dogs, watching Housewife of Atlanta with me. He's literally watching. I mean, one of my dogs, his name is Apollo. One of them love to watch TV with me, and he actually watches the screen, and he tilt his head, and he kind of like try to process whatever is happening on the TV. It's quite hysterical. So I caught him today as we were like rewatching. I was rewatching Atlanta's episode because I'm trying to see what the reunion is gonna bring. Like I want to be prepared for the reunion, and I watched like the first like few episodes. I even forgot the whole Marcel sending Kenya a DM on Instagram. I forgot that even happened. It feels so like long ago. It feels like lost in translation. Like we never got like a true resolution out of this whole problem. So I caught him watching TV with me, and I posted it on my Instagram story, and I tagged all the ladies. Um, and she shared that story on her Instagram story, and she posted like, "Oh, how cute," you know. So to me, that meant a lot because my dogs are my children. So um, seeing her sharing my story with my dog and stuff to me is like fun. I mean, I might not agree with Shire half of the time, but she is definitely part of the history of Atlanta. Um, we have many, iconic quotes and moments and memes from Shire. So that's great. But I mean, if you're gonna talk about storyline and reason to show a party, the whole, you know, baby, I don't know, social introduction or whatever you want to call that party, was it necessary? I don't know. I don't know. To me, it was crazy though that she invited Anthony. Anthony's messy ass is trying to be center pitch holder so badly, you know. This whole thing um, with Drew, to me, is of really bad taste because I don't care if you're a gay man. I don't care. I'm a gay man and I treat women with respect. I still think of like I'm a man who needs to respect other women. I was raised to respect women. And I don't care how messy you are or how you want to believe you're a housewife or you want to have like a reality TV moment. The fact that allegedly, I mean, that happened because he's talked about and he confirmed it, but I want to say allegedly because I didn't see it happening. He threw a shoe at Drew. To me, that's just too messy. The fact that Bravo is giving him a platform for him to like act like an asshole on TV, I was not. I was like, this dude is like just trying so hard to have a moment. Um, Mia Carla, I want to share your comment because I do agree with this. Sheree has a beautiful family, but the party is just a reason to dress up and get presents. Yes, I think even the girls said it on the show. They said like this party is not about the baby because the baby is passed out asleep. This is a moment for Sheree to dress up and just like be extra. I mean, I do appreciate herself calling her a glamma. Anything glam, anything like fashion and anything like elevated to me is really like cool and interesting. So I appreciate those little labels and those like little like fun stuff. But that party not only introduced us to her granddaughter, it also introduced us to Bob's mystery daughter. I was so confused by his story and the fact that he kept saying that she is 3 years younger than the oldest, which, if you do the math, this girl was uh, was born while he was still with Shire, and everybody's like, Bob, like, please, you're so messy, like that's crazy. The fact that Shire did not know that this girl even existed, the fact that Shire met this girl at this party that she is throwing, like, if that's not like messy family dynamic, I don't know what it is. And one thing that I'm going to say about Shire's family is like they are all absolutely stunning. Like, come on, her son, he's one of the hottest, like, Real Housewives son across franchises, across the board. He's one of my top three. You know, I am trying to remember because I made a list and it was him, Shire's son. It was also, oh, I forgot. Oh my gosh. Oh, Frank Catania Jr., hot from New Jersey, and who else? I'm gonna also say the Louis Ruelas, Louis' son, is very good looking, and I find Brooks Marks cute. Like his his features are cute. He's not like hot. He's more like, I would say, handsome. I don't know. He has like that. He has like his mom's face. Like they're pretty people. Yeah, there you go. He's pretty face. But then you have like Catania and Shire's son, like hot. That's hotness. Um, oh my gosh. I don't know if this is shady. I don't know if this comment is shady, but I need to share this comment. Mia Carla, New York, just said Brooks is cute in a K-pop way, and now I cannot stop thinking about like what's it called? That K-pop band that is like super like famous. That's how you know that I'm kind of older because I don't know the names of the K-pop, and they're huge right now. What's it called? If you can remember the name of that big K-pop band with all the guys, I do know Blackpink because it's all the girls, and that was like a huge moment for K-pop. But I forgot the boys. If you remember the boys' name, let me know. But I will never forget the Brooks Mark is cute in a K-pop way. Oh my gosh, I love it. uh, we know the Atlanta is coming to an end. this coming weekend. Then we have a reunion. The war on the street. Don't quote me on this because I'm not really sure about this, but it's been said. Oh, BTS, yes. Mia Carla, yes, BTS. There you go. That's the band that I was thinking of. But when it comes to Atlanta, the reunion though, it's been said there's only going to be two-part reunion. Um, yeah, I don't know. At this point, Atlanta I think it's like hanging by a thread when it comes to like a reboot. I think they're heading on the same way of New York for different reasons. I don't think Atlanta needs a whole reboot like New York. I do think that they need to do something about the cast because it's not good. Not good. And what it makes me sad, like I said at the beginning, is like they are editing out Kenya's storylines. And I have a feeling the production is trying to do this to push her out of the show. And I said it on my Twitter, and I stand by what I said. I believe that if Kenya leave the show, it's not gonna be good for Atlanta because somebody said like, "Oh, she left before." Yeah, but the cast that we had before when she left was a star quality cast. We had Nini, we had Eva, we had Cynthia, we have Portia. You know, those were stars. They could like carry the show without Kenya. But I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it, and some people are not gonna like it. But I do not think the Marlo is the girl to carry Atlanta. She can bear. I don't know. She does too much for the camera. They comes out so unauthentic. You know, um, I think Shrek can be part of it. Candy can be part of it, but you need a person like Kenya to bring like the shady side, the fun reads, the all the stuff. You know, the if she leaves, who's gonna do all this stuff? Because Sanya, like I said it all season, I like her. Don't get me wrong, I like Sanya, but Sanya, it's not quality for Atlanta. Sanya is the type of person that I prefer as either a friend of position or on her own show, like her dynamic with her family and all this stuff. If it's kind of like the type of show that you choose to watch, right? Her as an ensemble cast, she feels more like a friend of. And then her solo scenes are always flat. Always. There hasn't been one scene that I said like, God damn, Sania, good job for you. This is why you are part of the show. Not once this season. Not once. They had she had some cute confessionals. We cannot take that away from her. But I'm talking about how this show can move forward. Um, I think that if Kenya is being, pushed out of the show, I do believe that Candy is gonna follow too. I don't think Candy is gonna stay too long if Kenya is not there on the show. Also, I mean, if you think about the cast, I'm trying to process how this show can move forward without the two people who have been on the show the longest. You know? Yes, I'm gonna say that too. I'm gonna share it with you. I think it's true. Sonia is the same as Wendy on Potomac. You are like okay, accomplished but boring. I do like Dr. Wendy though. I like Dr. Wendy. When she's activated, she's activated. But Sonia, it's like, yeah, no, like background noise a lot of times. I just don't care for Marlo that much. So I don't think she's gonna be able to carry the show as like the main girl. So that's just my opinion. We're gonna have to watch what happened on the reunion. Let's see if it's really a two-part reunion because that would be tragic. That would be tragic for Atlanta. Let's talk about New York. New York, New York, New York. If you're not watching that show, you are missing out on great freaking TV. It's so fucking good. And yes, I'm including fucking because it's that good. And for those listening, you know that I talk like a sailor. So don't be surprised with like the cousin because I do this all the time. But it's so good, you guys. So and it's finally in that momentum where you already know the girls enough, so the storylines are starting to make sense and are fun and interesting. Um, Tomorrow, Wednesday, the mid-season trailer is gonna drop, and I'm excited. I'm excited for what is coming. This episode start with Erin and Uba at this fantastic place, which is a jewelry store in New York. It's all about diamonds. It's like where celebrities go to like rent, you know, jewelry or purchase jewelry for like award shows and events. It's like massive amount of diamonds. You know, one thing I love about this scene though is the fact that they were showing the prices of every item that Erin was trying on because that is so quintessential housewife. We had lost the wealth and the extravagant lifestyle. And that was the reason why we started watching, at least the OG viewers, we started watching Housewife for how ridiculous their shopping was and how much money they were spending. I mean, we didn't care as much for whatever drama is happening lately that it became so dark and it's not enjoyable. And like I said before, like a month ago, people were complaining about Heather Dubrow buying a house in Beverly Hills and how much money she has. And like that's the whole point of the show. And if you don't get that, maybe you should watch something else. Because I don't care about people shopping at Walmart. I don't care about people buying at Target. You know, I want to see people going to this jewelry store and spending $1 million in diamonds, even if it's not being spent, even if it's just rented. Just knowing that you're carrying around $1 million in diamonds to me sounds fucking insane. But that's the whole point of the show. So yes, the conversation is about the party that Erin and her husband are having to kind of like not renew their vows. I don't even know how to explain it because they are not married, but they are. I don't know. It was quite confusing to me, but it's a celebration of their love. It's an anniversary where they're celebrating their love. And I think it's cute. That's a cute idea. I'm all for it. You know? Um, then at the same time, there is a scene happening between Bryn and Jessel, and they're being so messy, y'all. They're being so messy in the fun way. Remember, I love all these girls, all of them, because they all bring different stuff on the show. And it makes sense. Like Jessel, I adore Jessel. I am obsessed with her and how kind of like sometimes disconnected with reality she sounds. But that's her reality. That's her life. But it sounds so like when she called Tribeca up and coming, I was like, as somebody who had lived in New York City for such a long time, I'm like, Tribeca is an up and coming. I don't know in what world is up and coming, but it's up and coming in Jessel's world. And now Bryn and Jessel were talking about um, the invitation, you know, the invitation that they got, and it showcased every single like sponsor or whatever. And Bryn said that it's like almost like the Coachella poster, for when they show Coachella and they show all the bands, it's like a huge list of stuff. And then they show Erin's invitation, and he has a bunch of sponsors, and they were making fun of it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, like what's happening?" Um, so that kind of like juxtaposition between Uba and Jessel shopping for the party while Brain and Erin were being messy in a different side of the city, I think is freaking hysterical. It's what made the show so dynamic. I'm happy that the world is finally opening their eyes and watching the show because for a couple of weeks the viewership live was going down, but I don't trust those Bravo ratings anymore because most people watch shows on streaming platforms. So we have to add to it the viewership of streaming platforms. But this last episode, the viewership live jumped like 100K views, which is great. um, Especially because these ladies, to me, are the future of Bravo, and I'm excited for what is coming. Also, there was a dinner, like a little dinner scene between uh, Erin and her husband. They were talking about, their love and how they are perfect for each other because, he seems more reserved, Erin is more out there and loud, whatever. And Erin said something that kind of clicked with me because that's how my marriage is too. Like she said, we have really good balance. That's why we work. She said, like I married my best friend. Like if we weren't married, if we weren't husband or engaged or whatever dynamic they have, if they weren't together as a couple, they were definitely good friends too. And that's how I see it, in my marriage. Like I married my best friend. Like I can see my life without him. You know what I'm saying? And we are total opposite. It's crazy. Like I'm out there, I'm loud, I'm always listening to loud music and planning trips and wanting to be social and going to BravoCon and watching Bravo and talking about Bravo. He hates Bravo, like hates it. He's actually, and that's another thing. He's actually liking New York. He's been watching it with me. He watched Crappie Lake in New York and he loved those two. So that's a plus for the show. Like even my husband, who hates Bravo, love New York and Crappie Lake. Um, so yeah, I do believe in the fact that she said that when you find that person that's a good balance for you, it works. So like yes, I can say that with like my open chest because that's exactly how I feel about mine. We are like total opposite, like you guys. Like we are opposite, but we balance each other. There was also a scene between Jessel and her husband. They were talking about like preschool and school for the kids and stuff. And Jessel wants to send the kids to a 62,000 school. And the excuse for her was that they get an Apple Mac and a iPad. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you can buy those Jessel for like way less. Like maybe for like you can spend like $2,000 between an iMac and an iPad at the Apple Store without sending your kids to a $62,000 school. She also mentioned that Tom Cruise's kids go to it, and her kids can be rubbing shoulder with them. It was so Gossip Girly though. Like if you guys watch Gossip Girl, that was the type of conversation, and it's true though. It's very real when people said like, she said something. She said like in New York, where you go to school is your status. 100% true. That is 100% true. Like she didn't lie on that one. Like she might be wrong about Tribeca being up and coming, but she was 100% right when she said that whatever school you go to in New York City, it shows your status. Not only just like basic education like high school or like private school or whatever, even like college education. Pavid is my new favorite house husband. Yes, Kristen. He is great. I love him too. Pavid is my new favorite house husband. That's one thing I want to mention about the house husbands in New York. House husbands across franchises, pay attention. These men are not involved in the women's drama. They listen, they might make a joke here and there, but they're not invested. They're not trying to be apple holders. I think people from across the river should pay attention. When I mean across the river, is the Hudson River, and if you know about geography, you know that across the river is New Jersey. So the house husband in New Jersey needs to learn how to keep their drama off the show because we are not watching the real house husbands of New Jersey. We are watching the housewives. So that's why I really, really like these husbands because they are mingling, they're hanging out. We see Sai's husband here and there. He didn't even go to Erin's party. He's like, I'm gonna stay home, I'm just gonna watch TV, like fuck this, I'm not going. And Sai told that to Erin's face. Like I was like, she just told her that her husband did not care about her party. That was quite shady, like low key shady. But I think that even like flew like over Erin's head. Like I don't think she kind of caught that little shade. But that was freaking hysterical. I caught it. But it's true. I like the dynamic of the husband with the housewife is pretty much what it's supposed to be. They are accessories. They are not the stars. Let it be that way. So at the party, we see an amazing setup. It's all diamonds. It's like there's a lot going on. It's fun, but it seems like there was not food once again. I mean, this conversation about food has become like a staple for this group. I feel like there are. I mean, this is the first time the housewives are fighting over food because usually they do not eat, you know. But we had the fight over cheese, we had the fight over caviar, we had the fight over the restaurant, you know, and now we're fighting because there was only pig on a blanket. And Sai was not impressed. She was not impressed. She said, like, I'm pescatarian. I'm not gonna eat pigs on a blanket. And it's funny because they were making fun of Erin for not giving enough food at the trip and stuff like that. So you will think that maybe Erin will catch like the hint and be prepared with like, okay, we need to impress these ladies because they like to eat, but pig in a blanket is not. It was not a thing. I don't think that was a good choice. But beside that, you can tell the whole entire venue was absolutely beautiful. Brent was flirting with Erin's dad, Erin's brother, and even with Erin's husband. That was a little out of line. I know that was quite a joke. I know she was kind of joking about it, but I don't know if it's gonna land like she was hoping. And I think we saw a little clip for next week's episode where Erin and her husband are talking about it. So this is gonna trigger some fight, and I think that's maybe where Brent's tagline came from. Like she said, like, if you make me mad, I'll date your dad. And she was trying to literally get with Erin's dad. It was freaking funny. Also, she arrived to the party wearing head to toe white in this white fur coat in this really dark glasses in the middle of the night. It was like 9 p.m. or something. Hysterical. I love that about her. She just doesn't care. Uh, And she said like, I'm gonna keep my glasses on. I don't care. And then she started to like throw shade with Jessel. I mean, those two has a great dynamic. Brent and Jessel have like the type of personality that they feed from each other. And Brent said like, this place feels like Bank of America holiday party meets a charity gala meets a bar mitzvah. I dropped to the floor, rolling, laughing out loud. Like it was hysterical. I'm like, how she comes out with this crazy nonsense, which is fucking hysterical. And Jessa was like laughing. So I love that about him. One person who made like a great cameo was Meredith Mark. I am here for this quick little cameo. It was Meredith and Brooks. They seem to have a long friendship with Erin, and they showed up for her anniversary. Um, yeah, and you know that Meredith knows a lot of people in New York City based on what we saw on the show. But I love Meredith. I mean, I I love Lisa Barlow. She's my queen. I love her. I love Whitney. And obviously over the couple of seasons they have had like issue with Meredith and all this stuff. And even like that, I appreciate Meredith as a mom. I love how supportive she is of Brooks, how she loves her kids. And she's minding her own business. Like, I like that about her. She's not like too invested on the drama when the season is not running. So she disengaged from the housewife universe and she focused on her family and her business, and I like that about her. So I was excited to see a quick cameo from a housewife from a different franchise in such a new show. So great. We finally had like a an appearance of somebody that is like familiar to all of us on the show. I'm just happy that so far we haven't gotten any of the old cast. Not because I do not want to, but I want people to focus on the new ladies and get to know them before Bravo starts like maybe inviting the other ladies from the old cast as like cameos and stuff on the show, because I don't want people to say like we had the higher rating because we had like Ramona or anything. I know. I want these ladies to cement themselves as housewives this season, and then maybe for season two of this new cast, uh, to bring more of that old cast of New York. Then we see Sai leaving the party because she wanted to go to Nobu for sushi. And I'm just happy that she loves sushi because I love sushi. And I will totally leave a party where there was no food to eat at Nobu, you know? Also, those speeches. Like, who thought that it was a great idea to have like 10 different speeches? Like, yes, have one or two. Like, even in a wedding, like you only have like the groomsmen and the bride, like the main bridesmaid, whatever, having like a little speech, and maybe the party, like the bride and the broom and the groom, the broom, like a witch. No, the bride and the groom say like a couple of words, but based on what we saw on the show, there were like six different people talking. I'm like, Jesus freaking Christ. And I was like, no, I will be bored. You know, Erin's and her husband's like speeches were beautiful. Like I would have preferred just like one person that knows them both to speak, and then they had those beautiful kind of like vows to each other. Just be mindful that when people are like in a party mode, they don't want to listen to speeches. Like we don't care for any of that. And Crappie Lake, you guys, it came to an end. It came in and went too fast. Too fast. I love Sonja and Luann so much. They are two of my favorite all New York cast because their dynamic personalities. I mean, Sonia is freaking insane in the best way, and Luann is such a warm personality kind of person. You know, she's very warm, welcoming, always saying, like, she speaks like it feels like velvet, you know, to your ears. Like the way that she talks, it's just like so like I don't know, elevated. So I love this show. I love when they put these two personalities in such a different environment that they're used to. The result of this season was gold. I mean, I hope you guys watched it. I hope you guys go and rewatch it on Peacock because the whole entire season is out now because obviously the finale was on Sunday. On Sunday, we finally got to see the follies of like the Benton follies that they were preparing. All the talent was amazing, you know, and funny. I think it was hysterical that the motel owner was like, "I didn't even know that we had this many talent in this town." Uh, Paula Abdul, she was uh, she was the choreographer for for the girls, the dance crew, whatever. Sweet moments, you know. Also the fact that uh, at the end of the day, this is not like actors, right? We have to understand the part where the people from Benton, Illinois, were just regular folks from a small town in America. So having this type of like energy in their town, it's very sometimes can be terrifying, but also exciting. Like we saw one of the people, one of the guys, typical small town guy. In the first episode, he said like, I don't know if these ladies are gonna do good in this town. I don't like celebrities. I don't like change. And then at the end, he was crying when they were leaving. The guy was crying, saying like, I appreciate them for what they did for my town. I mean, they came here with their energy. They came here and didn't feel like they were judging us. And that's what I liked about Crappie Lake. Because I'm a huge fan of The Simple Life with Paris and Nicole. I watched that show religiously when I was younger, when it first came out in the early 2000s. But if you look back at that show, right, if you watch those episodes nowadays, because I still rewatch the show, you realize that half of the charm, quote unquote, of the show is how Paris and Nicole were technically making fun of small town America, right? The people that were in Alabama, whatever town they went to, I don't remember, right? Um, I mean, they were not doing it purposely, but it felt, rewatching it, it felt like it was more like mocking their culture, right? The opposite was what Luann and Tonya did. They got involved with the town. They wanted to learn from the town. They were trying their best, even in funny moments, to uh, to be one of them. To the point that they were crying, leaving. That people felt like that they knew them, and that to me speak volumes to what this show was trying to do. Was bringing some happy, you know, I don't know, like just random goodness to not only us viewers, but to the people of Benton, I really hope Bravo learns from this show and give us more of this because this is, I don't know about you guys, but I appreciate reality TV when it's light, fun, can be petty, it can be shady, but it doesn't have to be shady to the point that destroys people's lives. It can be just fun, shady moments that we laugh at and with, right? Um, and that's what Crappie Lake made me feel like that I was just enjoying whatever they were doing, whatever nonsense they were doing. It was enjoyable because it felt so organic and it felt so like humane, right? Um, I I really hope that Bravo learned from this show and start making more like spin-off like this. Like every summer, I don't care. Send Luann and Sonja to different towns in America. I would love to go to Benton just to take a photo by that, like they had like a billboard. I hope they still have it. I don't know if they still have it, but when Luann and Sonja were leaving, they showed this like billboard of saying like welcome to Benton or something like that, and it was Luann and Sonja's photo, right? So I hope we get more shows like this. I know the ratings weren't so great, but also it's in a really hard time, like at 10 p.m. But I'm pretty sure people watched it on streaming. So Bravo gives Sonja and Luann a second round, send them to a different place because it felt like they truly care for the town, not just like they didn't feel like they went there to like pretend that they didn't know what rural America was all about. They went there with an open heart and to change and to bring happiness to a small town that it feels like needed it, especially after they talk how the pandemic affected them and how the whole scary time that we had in 2020 affected their lives and their financial you know position in town. So I loved it, and I hope you did too, because we need more of that. Okay, you guys. As I always say, the best way for you guys to support my platform, if you like this podcast, I don't. That's another thing, you guys. I hope you like whatever nonsense I talk to you, because I do this with my heart. I love creating content. I love talking to you guys. Mia, Kristen, thank you for joining. I really appreciate everybody who joins and just send the messages and rewatch on YouTube. Please, 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 if you like the podcast, the only way for you to really like help me to create more content, I don't need any money or anything like that. But if you want to, you can simply just subscribe and leave a rate on whatever platform you use, because that helped me to survive in this sea of content creators. There's many of us. So yes, please follow me on Instagram, Twitter. If you want extra tea, that's where I post most of my like posts, like daily posts. Twitter and Instagram, those are the places to go. You can find me on Twitter, on Threads. If you want to purchase a merch, I have some merch on my website, martinewitheddie.com. Also, I do have a members only section on my YouTube channel where I'm going to be posting a lot of exclusive content, especially when Bravo comes around. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just like all I ask is a subscribe on YouTube and also on my podcast. You guys, thank you so much. I'll be having another episode on Friday where we're gonna be talking about Orange County and all the Bravo news of the week. Make sure to tune in at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. 7:30. I will make sure to post the time. But yeah, guys, have a great night. Have a beautiful night. A great rest of the weekend. And please, please share this with your friends who listen to Bravo content. I'm pretty sure many people out there haven't found my podcast, but I'm pretty sure if you have friends who love Bravo and you think they might like my podcast, share the link. Share the link. It takes 2 seconds. You guys have a great night. And like I always say it with me. Bye, besties.